Checking in with Mark Nelsen. Checking with Mark Nelsen.
Baby, you and I can change the weather.
Coming at you from the Babyface Hotel in San Francisco, California, where the amps are never quiet. This is Checking In Podcast with your host, your doomsday concierge, your bellboy with the Telecaster.
You're one for many ways.
Mark Nelsen.
Mark Nelsen.
Mark Nelsen.
Mark Nelsen.
Mark Nelsen.
Shut up!
Don't be scared.
Okay. Why, hello. I am checking in linear downfall.
Hello.
Tennessee's linear downfall. And the break room today is not in the break room. It's actually in their van on Mission Street in front of El Rio. So this is kind of exciting. And I was just saying to Charlie here that I have an entire studio audience in front of me. Not only the whole band, but travelers as well. So I'm a little freaked out, but I'm going to do my best. So please don't make this comfortable for me, whatever you do. Anyway, how's it going?
It's good.
It's good?
Sorry it stinks in here.
It does not stink. I was expecting something
Much worse. Well, we do have a
Little
can
worse.
of Febreze over here that we like to spray and try to keep it good for guests.
Oh, cool. That's cool. What is that? Little...
It's a skull that we just put stuff that people give us up here on our dashboard, so eventually we're not even going to be able to see how to drive. But
So you've been collecting this stuff on the road?
yes.
Even the skull guy?
Yes. Well, this was from a while back, but it's still here. Yes. And this is a little gift. This is yarn from the 24-hour tour that was part of it, and they gave it to us as a necklace with this little thing.
Okay.
So, little baby. Troll. Yeah.
Well, I like what you did with the place.
Thank you.
And thank you for inviting me into the van.
This is our home for a little bit.
Yeah. Cool.
So, thank you.
So how long you been on the road for?
We started about April 16th, and we did a couple shows in Atlanta, and then we did a couple Nashville shows, and then we started on the, I guess, official tour. But we've been to a bunch of places like St. Louis, Chicago, so on and so forth. Portland was pretty cool.
Cool.
But now we're here in San Francisco, and we still have till May 25th or so to go.
All right. Sweet. So how's it been? I mean...
It's been good. So far, this is the second place that we have played in the past. All the other places that we've played, we never played before. Fire.
Fire in the disco.
But yes, so it's kind of been nice to go around and see places that we haven't been before, and all the shows were so great, and everyone was really receptive and open-minded, and we've been doing really well at those shows.
Awesome.
So it's been feeling good.
What kind of bands you've been playing with mostly, and what's the best show been so far? If you can answer that.
Yeah.
Seattle.
As far as the bands go, we played with this band called The Display in Seattle, and they were amazing. And then there was this cool band that played after us that was kind of like a band that was kind of dancey. They make most of their music with like modular synths. And we went to like a synth store the next day. We got to play with like a lot of analog synths and stuff.
Oh, awesome.
It's called Control Voltage. Pretty cool.
Cool. Hey, Chance. Yeah, why don't we introduce all of y'all? So, Charlie.
Hi, I'm Charlie.
Chance.
Hey, I'm Chance.
This is so I can remember voices.
I'm Dom.
Dom. What's up, Dom?
I'm Will. This is what my voice sounds like, so if I talk, you know who it is.
Cool. Well, welcome to San Francisco. Welcome back, I should
Thanks.
say. So this is your second time playing, right? In SF.
Yes.
The first time was last year. It was last year. My band Electric Shepherd were playing with Linear Downfall and our friends Buzz Mutt here at El Rio, and later on at the end of the track, or at the end of the show, you're going to hear some live Linear Downfall. Throughout the show, you're going to hear some album tracks, but at the end, we're going to give you a taste of what's happening tonight. When we met you guys in Nashville back in 2011, you guys were a power trio, and over time, all this has happened. So you started going on the road, got an extra member, and the sound, to me, it seems like it's changed drastically.
Definitely.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah,
Am
I think
I right about that?
Oh yeah. I think any band that plays music needs to evolve, or they just, I don't know how to put it, but definitely Dom coming into the band definitely took the recordings and what we have been doing and brought it more to live, because just doing it with us three it was hard, with as much tracking as we do and stuff. It just, that extra color wasn't there, and so he brought that extra stuff, which is great. And so we're very happy to have him here doing it. And we had just recorded our new album, which will come out late fall, I guess.
Oh, okay. Right
and
on.
It's called Sufferland, and he did writing and stuff with us, and it's definitely us four, and it's been really, really great to be able to have another mind in the room that is just like ours, because it takes, we didn't think we would ever be able to find someone who was on our same wavelength, because everybody has their own thing, and he definitely is. He was just out there, and then we found him, and he's maybe even weirder than we are, but he's he's definitely a good addition to what we do. So
Cool.
But it has evolved a lot, especially the live stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know how so, but I don't know what we sounded like when you saw us first.
This was my memory. I mean, there was we were playing at that place called The Muse.
Yes.
And
Ex-Meth
it was
Lab.
an interesting show, but it was like trio versus trio, and we were just like, it was like a private audition or something for each band.
Yeah.
And I just...
It was show and tell.
It was a fond memory. I loved your music. You did a rad cover of that Hendrix song. Yeah, Third Stone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Weird.
Did we really?
Was it there?
Damn. This is me and your memory are just shot
Well, it might have
completely.
been in a medley. I don't know. You definitely played the lick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, It was really cool. Anyway, so
Cool.
from then, that's what I remember. It was just like a lot more, like you guys were really experimental still, but it was a lot more straightforward rock at the same time. Like it was hard hitting, like power trio, just pile driving, balls to the wall rock and roll.
Okay, gotcha.
And since then, since that was 2011, and then I heard the new record upon your guys' arrival last year, and it was like this new band. Why don't you tell us about the latest record, Fragmental Hippocampus?
Well, it was a bunch of... me and Charlie kind of basically had a lot of demos, and then Charlie went on a trip to, I think, Asheville, and me and Will recorded some stuff together. And then we basically put all of our ideas into one big pot and just chopped it all up and made an album that just hops from song to song within one song. And that's basically it. Just kind of, I don't know, we had a lot of ideas and we wanted to use them all, so we tried to use them all in a span of like 30-something minutes.
It's like a collection of textural, very just weird soundscapes.
Yeah.
There's so much happening. It's like alien music. To me, it was kind of like cyborg trip hop or something.
Yeah.
Or at least elements of that, and I really like the direction you're going in. That record came out last year?
Yes.
You were touring it last year.
That's so weird. Yeah, beginning of last year. It's just, I feel like the beginning of this year is the beginning of last year because it went so fast.
So, yeah, totally.
It's very weird. But yeah, it's kind of just, yeah, it's weird. I don't like that. Time's fucking weird.
How long did it take you guys to track that album?
I don't even know.
I know some of the stuff was recorded in probably 2011, and then most of it was recorded probably from May to September of 2013.
Okay.
And then we kind of got it all ready. We put up like an Indiegogo, and I think we had it out like at the very end of December. So I don't really know. Yeah, basically January 1st is when we put it out, basically.
And it's your second full length?
Oh, it's our third.
Third, okay. Cool. So where does the name come from? What inspired this madness?
Well, like we're having trouble right now with memory. It's a hard thing for us. I guess, like, you have all these little pieces of memory that are just fragmented, if you will. If you won't, you just don't, I guess. But it's just all these little fragments of memories that I had to throw a stupid ass joke in there, I'm sorry. But they're just all sitting in your head, and sometimes they just come in and like you can't remember them all, and they're just kind of there, and some of them are really awful and some of them are really good, and they're just, I don't know how to explain it. Do you know how to explain it?
Is the hippocampus like the memory bank?
Yes, it's a part in your brain that's actually called that. And it's called the hippocampus, and that's what stores the incoming memories and past and present and, you know, what comes in and out.
Okay.
And so when it's all fragmented, it's just, you just get these bits and pieces and you can't keep them all together, and it's just kind of just a fucked up jumbled mess in there, you know? So it's kind of like, through that album, each little section are kind of these little pieces of the memory.
I like
and
that.
then they're all just kind of put together. And it's like the album cover inside of the hippo is like this broken vase in my hands.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I guess through your life, it's kind of like you can take it as like, you know, if something bad happens, this vase is broken, and you try to hurry up and grab all the pieces and try to glue them all together, but there's still these little holes all in it, and you just can never fill them, and you can never, you know, make it right and make it like as beautiful as it was. But then, you know, you look at it and it's just something different, you know, and then you can see it as something different, and you can just go and you can just go from there and just say, okay, this is what I have now, and then I can just kind of continue with that, you know.
Excellent.
It's kind of like that. Yeah, and the seahorse, well, the hippocampus is shaped like a seahorse in your brain or whatever, like the actual part. So
I learn a lot on this show. Thank you for teaching me about the
we looked a lot of it up, but yeah.
I thought it was just a word you made up, to be honest.
Well, either way, it's kind of fun.
Cool.
The hippocampus is shaped like a seahorse, so the hippo has like a submarine window where you can see the shattered vase in the stomach of the hippo, and then the hippo's head is a seahorse, which is actually shaped like like the hippocampus in your brain.
All right.
Sorry.
No, I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry.
So, Charlie, you're the lead singer. You do lead vocals. Why don't you introduce your respective roles here in the band?
I would just say I do vocals and bass and synthesizer and effects and stuff like that. And like in the studio, it's all kind of different. We all kind of play everything, and just whoever does whatever is how it goes. But in live setting, I play bass and synths and sing. Chance plays guitar and sings, and now on this new album, he's doing lead vocals as well, which he did a little bit on the other one. He's my brother, by the way. Dom plays guitars, synths, effects. He will eventually sing and have his beautiful singing voice everywhere. Well, actually, on our new album, he's got a little section that he sings on. Yeah, so he's a lead guy too, I guess. And then Will plays drums and does effects, and he has keyboards and fat beats.
What are your impressions on San Francisco? Do you like the scene here? How are the people? Are we dickheads? What's up?
I don't know if we got enough of a look into the music scene last time.
Mm-hmm.
I know that psychedelic music's pretty cool here, and people enjoy it, and the crowds are open-minded. I remember our last crowd was pretty receptive and cool about things. Oh, Deerhoof's from here, and they're like the best band of all time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I love the city. It's a beautiful city.
Have you been here prior to playing last year?
No.
Oh, okay.
So we
That's
played
pretty
here.
Special.
Yeah, and we got to like see all the touristy kind of parts of it and the beautiful parks and just kind of seeing what's going on here, and that's a beautiful part. But I can't say much on the music scene except for our last show went well, and I hope tonight's show goes well.
Glad to hear, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that
so too.
people, you know, are open-minded enough here to like weird music, you know.
Because here, I've noticed a lot of psychedelic music. I mean, it's like neo. They call it neo-psych, and it's more of like revivalist. I mean, you know, all over the world, there's a bunch of revivalist scenes going on, but like aesthetically, it's like purely like 60s, 70s, the bell bottoms, and playing, you know, fucking just garagey psych.
Yeah. I think that's a lot of places, though, because Nashville gets that way, too. It's really garage rock kind of based, and if you're not into that kind of scene, then you're not cool, and they don't care, you know?
Yeah.
But then there's a lot of underground stuff that pops up that's, like, more of what we do, and other bands that are kind of like that, and I think they're around. They're just... There's just not good enough avenues sometimes in cities to help promote that kind of thing, you know, because it's just not as popular as what everyone else likes, you know.
So yeah, what I was meaning to ask you this: what is the psychedelic scene in Nashville like? Because literally, you're the only band I know in Nashville that's like psychedelic, so to speak.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a couple like I guess Deadsa is kind of psychedelic, and they've kind of like that and other stuff, but a lot of it is kind of dancey and garage rock.
Yeah.
There's literally no metal scene or punk scene anymore that we know of, so that's kind of died out. But I mean, there's a lot of pop country, which is like on the main thing there. But there's these like art collectives that pop up sometimes, and there's awesome shows that are there. There'll be people who have art, and then there'll be a music show, and like that art crowd comes, and of course they're going to like with the weird music because they're into the weird art. And so that's really the ticket anywhere is to find those kind of places.
Like when you're on tour, are they kind of blown away to know that you're from Nashville?
Yeah, I think sometimes they're like, oh, you're from Nashville, that's weird. But then I guess people, when you tour from different cities, people like us more than people in Nashville, or at least seems like they care more.
Yeah.
Nashville, they're just so jaded sometimes. And no offense, because I love Nashville and I love, you know, it's just like there's so much music around them that it's not like a lot of stuff phases people, you know,
Yeah.
when there's so much going on. Yeah, it's kind of, some of it's closed-minded, but there are sections that are definitely open-minded and like are trying to push towards that. Because there's, I remember being at this one show and running into a guy that said that he wanted to start a psychedelic Nashville festival kind of thing.
Okay.
And he never got to it, I guess. But yeah, there's this guy named Tyler Walker in Nashville, Meth Dad. It's his name. It's so
Meth
cool.
Dad?
Meth Dad.
Okay.
And he put on this festival called Tour de Fun. And if y'all can ever get on it, like if y'all ever like want to come out there and be on that, it's really cool. Because during everyone's on bikes and they just kind of bike to each spot where people play throughout the day.
Okay.
And that's pretty fun. And then when we were on tour, we met like two or three people who were like, hey, I saw you at Tour de Fun. And they lived in Chicago and like other cities, you know. And so that was pretty cool to, like, he reaches a lot of people just from that. So
Great. Yeah, I'm definitely interested.
Yeah, he's trying to push. He's one of the people in Nashville that's trying to push the scene forward and trying to like kind of knock down the barriers between all the different kind of like cliques and genres and just kind of make it to where it's just kind of all, it's just about just music in general and not about like the garage rock scene or about this scene or that scene. It's just, he's trying to like, I feel like he's trying to like kind of highlight all the things that are underground in Nashville that people just don't really, that don't get enough, I guess, attention, I guess.
I see. What time a year does that happen, the Tour de Fun?
that happened a few weeks ago.
Okay.
I guess like a little bit before we left for this tour.
Okay.
It happened, and it's great. So we'll just have to talk about that because you should definitely come and do it. It's so much fun.
We'd love to. Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess a lot of people, I don't know. I guess it might be everywhere, but definitely in Nashville, it's like everyone's so concerned with their own thing, which is good because you got to push and do your own thing. But not a lot of people are like really concerned about the community of music in Nashville. You know, like pushing to get that bigger, you know, and get people there. It's just like, oh, how can we do to help ourselves, you know? But that's one good thing about Tyler is like he is so about helping everybody and promoting everybody's stuff. I wish there were more people like that.
It's like everybody's in a band there and everybody has a friend in a band, so it's like being there, being like kind of hometown. It's just like if you play a show, like I guess some people go in with the mindset it's just like, oh, they're from here, you know, they'll play like next week or whatever like that. So it's like really not that special of a thing because that any person who's going to go to a show is either in like probably like 3 or 4 bands or like is friends with someone who's in 3 or 4 bands. So
for real,
like,
This is interesting because you bringing up the word jaded because, you know, I know Nashville is, I mean, Tennessee, the South is, that's like where the heart of American music is from, you know, and it has this rich history and legacy. And there doesn't seem to be much of an evolution taking place. You can blame anything. You guys are the only people I've met who are young, hardworking musicians from Nashville who, you know, are doing something new, doing something special. And like hearing you say this is interesting, like the different beacons of, you know, hipster confusion.
It's a weird city because it's like really one of the only cities in America. It's like it was built up upon the music industry.
Yeah.
You know, like her grandfather still remembers like the main strip downtown like being a dirt road, and then the music came in and then kind of like built it up from there. And it's kind of in this weird stage too where it's like growing a lot. Like a lot of people are moving in, and there was, I guess, what they would call East Nashville was dirt cheap, like right when I moved up there, and so a lot of kids moved there, and like that's where like a lot of like the music comes from, and now like they jack the prices up. So I can kind of like when just hearing people talk about like the rent here in San Francisco, it's like, you know, that's like a killer for like any kind of like really passionate or like kind of like different music scene, because it's just like there's just no way for people to do it. And so It's like Nashville's kind of like in this weird like limbo stage where it's like kind of getting to that point, but it's not like you can still live there, you know, and without like paying. But it like you can kind of like feel it, kind of like getting to that point.
Wow, yeah, just gentrification, man. It's just like the gentrification blues. Like, there's no sense of community or looking out after a band you believe in. What is there? Like, how do we get to the next level?
Right. And another thing, it's like sometimes we'll play a show in Nashville, and there'll be so many people who say they're going to go and everything. And this is kind of off topic, but they'll just get so high and just stay in their house and just be on their phone. And they can't get out and experience life, you know?
True story.
And it's just crazy, you know? I don't know. It's just kind of like that. And I don't know, just people being too lazy these days.
I don't think it's just Nashville. I don't think it's just San Francisco. I think it's literally just everywhere. Even though technology's helped us, it's because, you know, back in the day, it was exciting to go to a show because when you would sit at home, there wouldn't be internet or anything like that. Right. So it's like it was actually exciting to go out and do something, and now it's just like people can just sit at home.
Yeah.
When people say like back in the day, though, like I always try to draw parallels and stuff. So it's like, you know, you read constantly about like I just read William S. Burroughs' book, and it's just like, you know, like that whole beat thing of just like those guys like making this whole movement, and it's just like if you really look at it from like outside of like a textbook or like a Wikipedia page, you're just like, well, there's just a bunch of guys like doing their thing. And so it's like I feel like now with like the internet that and everybody is like kind of so connected, it's like there's a lot of pockets of that, but it may not seem as special because it's like, you know, like I don't know what I'm really trying to say. Like, it's more romanticized because it was in the past. So it's like you can read about like CBGBs and stuff like that and be like, "Whoa, that was a cool thing." But it's like, really, we're probably doing the same thing going to these shows because like the way you read it, it's like the way they write like the history of it is like this golden era of stuff, and it's just like, but it was still just like, you know, a bunch of people hanging out, kind of like what we have.
No, yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, we could be like right in the middle of it. We don't even because probably like those people back then were like, well, you know, back in the day with those jazz guys, like they really had a cool scene going, you know.
It's probably happening on the internet though.
That's
like truly like in a historical way. Maybe it exists only online. I don't know. I mean, people still go to shows, but maybe it is all just novelty.
Well, just think about like people just sitting at home and not going and experiencing this age of music. Like, think about it back then at like Monterey Pop. Like, what if people didn't see Jimi Hendrix burn his guitar? Yeah. And what if people just sat at home and sat on their computers and didn't see that kind of stuff? Like, that blows my mind. That there could be stuff like that happening right now, and people, as many people, not getting to experience it because of our age. Well, I mean, there are people who go out and still, you know, see it and stuff, but it's just not. But
it's just like it turns into a picture on Facebook for a second.
Yeah.
Like, so it's shock value, no doubt. And it's like, oh, interesting. That was very interesting.
Cool.
But it just kind of I personally think that a lot of where we've come as an artistic community is just like it's like an ADD quick fix on demand culture.
Mm-hmm.
It's relentless.
Yes.
I feel like something needs to rebel against that. Mm-hmm. I don't know how it's going to happen yet, but I feel like somehow with computers we're gonna rebel against computers.
I think technology's good. I think it gets misused. I mean, like as far as like having such a high number of bands out there saying that they're just as good as the next band, and like you know, having all these things. Yeah, having just an overflow of all these bands out there, it's a good thing because you can get your music out there, but it's also a bad thing because it's like everyone's got music out there, you know. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just kind of like it's all just this formula and everything sounds the exact same.
Yeah, I think bands need to stand for something greater ideologically. I mean, or even if it's purely in the music, it's not like you have to have this mission statement written out.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
It's just like I think good art will find its way. No matter what.
Yeah.
Like it needs meaning. Otherwise, it's how do you separate from somebody who's really pushing the envelope?
Yeah.
I feel like you guys are kind of on the forefront, and you should embrace that if you haven't figured out your ideology yet.
I just think people should really look within themselves and try to figure out what they can do that would best represent who they are as a person, instead of like listening to some type of music and being like, okay, I want to do that or I want to do that. I want to be
yeah.
like them. Like
Yeah,
that's the most important thing. If people would do that, then I think music would be move forward. But
Cool, yeah.
until people start, I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of how our music works. Is it's literally therapy for all of us. Because everyone, like we can't sit here and say, oh, we've all had fucked up lives, but everybody has a situation. Everybody's been through pain and suffering and happiness and sadness and whatever. And so it's just kind of like you can't be scared to let that stuff out. And like you said, to look in yourself and try to figure out what your feelings sound like, what your mind sounds like. And of course there's influences that come from everywhere. You can't just be completely original, I guess, because you've heard things in your life.
Yeah.
You've heard a bird chirp, so maybe you know what that sounds like, and it might one weird sound might sound like a bird chirping, I don't know. But it's just people have got to stop being so plain and so boring, because people need stimulation, and that's not why we do this, but like, I don't know, it's kind of a curse in a way too, like playing our music, because now you listen to normal music and it just doesn't do anything for you, and it's like, fuck.
I was gonna ask you about that, actually.
And you listen to like out there like music or like people like free jazz or noise, and it's just like, okay, like I've heard this, I've heard you before, even though I love it. It's just like sometimes I'm just like, oh man.
Well, that's
like,
what makes you guys unique, man. It's something to cherish, I know you guys do, but you guys play really futuristic music.
Yeah, that's kind of with the album we just finished is kind of like the first side is kind of like in that kind of zone of just kind of like machinery, kind of, I guess, like, I don't know, I can't really find the words for it. Somebody else will explain it better, but it's like machines.
Deus Machina.
Like the first side of this new album, which is called Sufferland, is like the machines are kind of controlling you, because we're using more like apps and more digital kind of ways of recording and things like that. But then the second side is all mostly analog and stuff like that.
Okay.
So you are manipulating the machines in that kind of way. So you kind of get both sides of it, and it kind of sounds like two different albums, but you flip it and it sounds different.
Yeah.
But I like that idea of just trying an album doing it two different ways. You get the technology that helps you so much, but then you get better. I like the second half better than the first half, and it's because we made the other sounds, but we really had to, dial in these other sounds on the second half. That was much more fun for me, honestly.
Cool. I look forward to hearing it. See, you're rebelling against computers with computers.
Yes.
Please continue. So we'll just close with a few things here, then we got to load in. Any thoughts of relocating here, or even in just a pure in the moment, poetic, romantic, like let's move to San Francisco and fucking show them what's up.
We love Nashville as a home base, but I could see us like, coming and staying in certain parts of the country for a little while and recording, and just getting
residency here.
Yeah.
Residency here.
Yeah, I could definitely see in the future like going somewhere and feeling that city, because it definitely brings so much more, to your creativity when you're somewhere else. So that's kind of fun. Umlaut. It's called an umlaut.
It's probably like 100 bands with that name. So you want to talk a little bit about this new project you're doing with the members of the Flaming Lips? Electric Worms.
Yeah, it's called the Electric Worms, and we've been kind of working with the Flaming Lips for a little while now.
Yeah.
They had seen us at this little dive bar, I guess in 2011, 12. And so we just kind of have been connected with them and doing some covers and collaborations and stuff.
Yeah, you guys did that King Crimson tribute album, like you were part of that?
Yeah, we did the 21st Century Schizoid Man and Epitaph.
It was sweet. I saw that video.
Oh, thank you.
Badass.
So that was really fun. So we did a few covers with them. I don't know if we're going to be on it or not, but we're working on this Beatles song. They're doing a Beatles cover album. So we're working, Sgt. Pepper.
Sgt. Pepper?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And so we're doing that. And so we're going to see how that turns out.
What are you
Benefit.
working on?
Being for the benefit of Mr.
Oh
Guy.
my God!
Yes.
Yes.
So we're working on that. Yeah, Fixin' a Hole,
Oh
too.
man, that's my favorite song. That's my
Yes.
favorite Paul song.
It's a great song.
Yeah, of all time.
So
That's great.
We're working on that. I don't know. I mean, you never know what's going to be used or not, but it'll. We're working on that right now. But the Electric Worms thing, it just kind of. Wayne just kind of asked us out of the blue, "Hey, me and Steven want to start this side project. It's not going to be the Flame Lips. It's not going to be Linear Downfall. We want you four to be in it and do it." So we just went out to Oklahoma and kind of. That's where their studio is and where they live and stuff. And we just kind of all played together and tried to figure out what our sound was going to be, I guess. And obviously it was a huge shock to be doing this side project band with them. It's just a ridiculous feeling, you know?
Wow.
And so we did that and just kind of found these sounds and stumbled upon this weird, well, at first it sounded really otherworldly, like that you were sitting on a cloud looking down at a band playing. That's kind of what it sounded like to me. Now it's kind of turned into something different, but it's still really out there.
Yeah. So there's a whole album in the works?
It's finished.
It's
and
finished.
It's 6 songs.
Okay.
And it'll be coming out, I guess, in August at some point.
What was that like? I mean, tracking, I mean, working with Wayne and Steven, I mean...
Oh, they're awesome. I mean, Steven is just a really beautiful human being. You know, he's really, really a genius. And seeing that happen, we work really fast too, but they work super fast and really kind of schizophrenic. They're all over the place. They kind of jump from song to song and do things. But, I mean, they really have a good way of going about it. Like Wayne will have some idea and you'll be like, I don't know, that sounds crazy, you know, but then he'll just push it and push it and push it, and then it'll turn into this amazing sounding
I can see
thing.
that.
It's just like, he's just such a good producer, you know. He knows what he can, like, he hears it and he just doesn't stop till it turns into that. So he's really good at that.
Were you able to get into a comfortable headspace, though, at some point or another?
I mean, I guess every time you're around him, you still feel like this little giddy kid that's just like in a candy shop. Because, I mean, they're just, you know, idols to us. And then,
Totally.
you know, to a lot of people. And then also their studio is just awesome. And it's just all these really awesome toys you get to play with. And
wow.
And so
That's so exciting.
It's pretty crazy. But, I mean, they are the nicest people, you know. Really, they're really, really nice and open-minded, and you can just do anything. And I mean, you feel really comfortable working around them because they don't put you down or anything. They're just really open to whatever you do, you know. So it's cool.
Yeah.
A lot of the songs too were like, there was a couple things that Steven had ideas for that it was like pretty much already there, and then a lot of it was just kind of like just jams we did and jammed in the studio for like 3 days, and then. One song's based off of Savad by Miles Davis, off of Live Evil, and then there's like a little, not the whole song, but it's like a kind of a cover of Heart of the Sunrise by Yes.
Oh, well,
That's on there too. And so
Nice.
like we just kind of jammed, and we were up there for a weekend, and then there was just kind of like pieces of that were kind of pieced together.
Right.
I think this isn't like in writing to me, but we're playing this. I think our first show is going to be in this festival called On the Road. It's like in England or something. I don't know. It's going to be insane. I don't know. Like we get these little calls and like these little tidbits of beautiful, exciting news, and then you're just like, okay.
Have you guys been to Europe before to play?
No.
Okay.
So it's so exciting.
Yeah, man. Congrats on all this.
Oh,
this
thank
is
you so much.
Really awesome stuff. What's next besides Electric Worms and these, you know, side projects and the new record of your new record? Where are you off to next? Where are you playing next on this tour?
Our next show is I think in San Jose. Is that right? And it's on Friday.
Where in San Jose?
Where's it in San Jose? Do you know? Art Boutique.
Oh no.
But then we're playing this festival called Tampa Fest in LA on Saturday.
Oh, great. Okay.
I've never really heard much about it, but I think it'd be cool.
Yeah.
So we're doing that, and then we'll finish up. I think our last show's in Clarksville, Tennessee, and then it'll, like May 25th. So then that'll be the last day of the tour. But I guess what's next is we'll put out this album along with a film that goes for the whole thing.
Okay.
We're going to be working with a couple of our friends from home, and they're really awesome, Tyler and Brandon. And they're super intelligent, amazing film people. So we'll we're gonna be doing that and try to put a visual along with the music, so
Yeah.
there would be a little bit more understanding, I guess. There.
Cool. Are you going to do a premiere? I would imagine you're doing a video movie premiere where you're playing and the music in sequence of the movie.
Yeah, we've talked about it. We
yes.
haven't seen where or figured out where we would do it, but
gotta
we
do
definitely
that.
want to do
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it'll be
Awesome,
so
man.
much fun. I guess we also have this locations album that it's in the works. Like we've already done one location. There'll be 4 locations, and there's I guess it'll be a double album, and one side, like each side of the vinyl, is a different season.
Mm-hmm.
So there's one that'll be in a hot air balloon for spring,
Oh,
and then
okay.
summer's the beach, and then fall is a mental hospital, and then winter is a cave. So we'll record in these places, which we've already done the
get
beach
outta
one.
here.
Yeah.
Damn.
We contacted this place called the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in West Virginia that we were going to be maybe recording at. Which, I mean, they gave us the go, but we'll have to kind of get the money together to rent it out and stuff.
Wow.
And it's been on like Ghost Hunters and all those kind of shows.
Damn.
So we're gonna hopefully record there. That'd be the coolest place. And then the cave, we'll just find one, and then the hot air balloon. We kind of asked about that too, and he said it was super cool. So we'll just have to figure out all that stuff to do.
I'm speechless. That is great. So how about we go make some noise?
All right.
Yeah. So, well, thank you guys.
Well, thank you.
That was a pleasure. I really look forward to tonight's set. It's going to be a good time.
And by the way, Will spoke through this whole entire interview. We just didn't have a mic for him, but he is back here and happy and present.
We are on tour. We are in San Francisco. We're about to load in. #boy style. I love you.
I also want to take this time to say my latest EP, Homeward, produced by Greg Ashley, is still available to stream and purchase digitally and on cassette. Still got cassettes left. They're running out. You can find that and more of my music on iTunes, Spotify, and Bandcamp.com, not to mention on my website, mark-nelsen.com. Nelson spelled N-E-L-S-E-N. Fuck you, autocorrect. Yeah, there you can find all my solo and band music and music news. That was Linear Downfall on this week's Checking In. I'm Mark Nelson. We hope you enjoyed your stay.